Hello class. So we're going to be looking at your synthesis essay practice assignment. So take out your synthesis essay packet. This has your prompt and all the sources that you're going to be using to write the synthesis essay. Take this out. You're going to be following along. We're going to go through reading the prompt and analyzing your sources. So, what is a synthesis essay? So, what is a synthesis essay? It is an essay that presents and supports a claim or thesis about a topic, and most importantly, it makes insightful connections between multiple sources, and it brings these sources together to support your ideas and opinions on the topic or prompt. So the thing that I want to stress here is that your ideas are central. Whereas in some 5-paragraph essays, you would be writing more describing the sources, maybe a paragraph per source. Here, what I want to see is you're making your statement about the thesis or the prompt, and then you're just bringing in multiple sources as evidence to back up your claim. So imagine that you're in a courtroom and you're trying to convince the jury of something. You're going to want to present evidence to prove that what you're saying is true. And that's exactly how I want you to think about this essay. In each paragraph, you're going to make your claim about the thesis, and then you're going to use the sources as your evidence, because you're trying to convince the reader that what you're saying is true. So, in order to support your thesis and your thinking about the prompt, you need to read and understand the prompt. You can't answer a question properly unless you understand exactly what's being asked. Now, get out your packet, and on the first page of the packet is the prompt. Let's take a look at that. Okay, let's take a look at the directions. This question requires you to integrate a variety of sources into a coherent, well-written essay. Refer to the sources to support your position. Avoid mere paraphrase or summary. Your argument should be central. The sources should support the argument. So as I said, this is more about your ideas. The sources are just there for you to prove that your thinking is correct. What we don't want to see is a description of what the sources are saying and have that be your entire body paragraph. What we want to see is your idea, your thinking, and then small quotes or small paraphrasing that supports your idea. So you want to find things in the sources that are going to directly support what you are saying. Remember to attribute both direct and indirect citations. You want to make sure you're referring to the source that you're using. So introduction. This part gives you a little background and sets up the question and the prompt. So television has been influential in United States presidential elections since the 1960s. But just what is this influence, and how has it affected who is elected? Has it made elections fairer and more accessible, or has it moved candidates from pursuing issues to pursuing image? So again, this is just setting it up, and what it is saying here is that it is a fact that television has been influential in the United States presidential elections, but has it been positive or has it been negative? Has it made politicians become more focused on being celebrities rather than working on issues that matter to the American people. Now we move on to the assignment. Read the following sources, including any introductory information. So that's important. Before each source, you will have a little bit describing what the source is, who wrote it, who it was written for, and that's going to help you to understand the sources. So we'll get to that when we analyze the sources. Then, in an essay that synthesizes at least 3 of the sources for support, take a position that defends, challenges, or qualifies the claim that television has had a positive impact on presidential elections. So, what you want to do, you want to focus on the claim. The claim right here is that television has had a positive impact on presidential elections. So, if you agree with that, then you are defending that claim. If you disagree, you're challenging that claim. And we're just going to focus on agreeing or disagreeing. We're not going to worry about qualifying for this essay. So for this prompt, you may not have your mind made up yet. You may want to take a look at the sources. So as we go through the sources, what we're going to do is categorize the quotes in the sources as to whether they are on the defending side or the challenging side. That way, when you're done, you will have the sources all annotated, whether it's defending or challenging the claim that television has had a positive impact on presidential elections. Then when you make up your mind as to where you come down on the issue, you'll be able to go back and find the relevant quotes and bits of the sources that are going to support your claims about the prompt. So now we're going to take a look at the sources and how to analyze and annotate them. Open to the first page. We're going to take a look at source A. We're going to read this one. We're going to annotate it together. And then what you're going to finish for homework, you're going to read the rest of the sources and annotate those, finding out which sources support the claim that television has had a positive impact and which ones challenge the claim that television has had a positive impact. Inside the box here is where you're going to find the introductory information on the source. So this tells us that this was written for the Encyclopedia of Television, an article called Has Television Reshaped Politics? So the following passage is excerpted from an article about television's impact on politics. So we'll take a look, read the first paragraph. The advent of television in the late 1940s gave rise to the belief that a new era was opening in public communication. As Frank Stanton, president of the Columbia Broadcasting System, put it, not even the sky's the limit. One of the great contributions expected of television lay in its presumed capacity to inform and stimulate the political interests of the American electorate. So that's fairly neutral. It's not coming down on either side. It's saying what the potential, the possibility for television was, but it's not saying what the reality of it is. So we'll keep reading. Television, with its penetration, its wide geographic distribution, and impact, provides a new, direct, and sensitive link between Washington and the people, said Dr. Stanton. The people have once more become the nation, as they have not been since the days when we were small enough each to know his elected representative. As we grew, we lost this feeling of direct contact. Television has now restored it. So as you can see there, the claim being made in these quotes is that it has indeed been a positive development in politics. So we have right here, the people have become once more the nation, as they have not since the days when we were small enough each to know his elected representative. As we grew, we lost this feeling. Television has now restored it. So this is absolutely positive. This supports the claim that television has had a positive impact. So, if after reading all the sources you decide that you agree it has had a positive impact, this is a quote that you could use to back up one of your points. Reading on. As time has passed, events have seemed to give substance to this expectation. So again, saying that this is true, is indeed the situation. The televising of important congressional hearings, the national nominating conventions, and most recently the Nixon, Kennedy, and other debates have appeared to make a novel contribution to the political life of the nation. Large segments of the public have been given a new immediate contact with political events. Television has appeared to be fulfilling its early promise. So here again, we have support for the idea that television has had a positive impact on presidential elections. So as we go through, time has passed, events, substances, expression. So the televising of important hearings, national nominating conventions, and the debates have made a novel contribution to the political life of the nation. And a very strong supporting quote right here. Large segments of the public have been given a new immediate contact with political events. Television has appeared to be fulfilling its early promise. So again, this is positive. So from reading source A, we were able to determine that it is indeed very much in support of the claim that television has had a positive impact on presidential elections. Now this is what you will be doing with all of the sources in order to prepare us to write the synthesis essay. So what you will be doing now to be prepared for class tomorrow is choosing a position. Do you agree or disagree with the claim? And then you will continue through the rest of the sources. You're going to read and annotate the remaining sources and focus on finding evidence to support your position. We're going to bring those into class tomorrow. We're going to have a look at it, and then we're going to talk about organizing your essay, setting up your intro and body paragraphs, and how to arrange the body paragraphs to make sure that the focus is on your ideas and your opinions about the prompt, and that you're using the quotes and paraphrasing to support your thoughts. See you tomorrow.